Ever wondered why your cheap cooler hates a day at the beach? So currently the air temperature is 22 degrees Celsius. The white lid on this cooler is at 38.6. The blue side is at 69.2. And inside the hollow lid, which is white, is 43 degrees Celsius. So it's like having a little oven on top of your cooler. So keep your cooler in the shade. Hi guys, it's Mike here from KS Bushcraft Down Under. Well, the big lineup of Eskies here. So a couple of months ago I inherited this retro style on Esky. Lady asked me to buy it for her grandson and he thought it was absolute garbage and wouldn't use it, so it came back to me. Not a bad cooler, so I've modified it by filling the lid with a bit of foam. Took it apart and put some extra reflective foil on the inside, and that made a significant improvement. Okay. The weak part on these is the lid. Sun shines straight through them. So I made this little tropical lid, and that made a huge improvement. So what I've done now, I've built a 50mm thick insulated box for it to slide into, as you see here. So this is an $80 cooler. The Yeti Roadie up there, brilliant cooler. That's a $300 Australian dollar cooler. The yellow Esky inside that box is 27 litres. The Roadie's about 20.5, maybe 21. The base Esky weighs 4.5 kilos, the Roadie 5.9, and the Tundra 45 has a volume of about 32.5 litres and weighs 10.4 kilos. It's also $450. So even factor in 3 cans of expander foam and bits of scrap materials to make this box, this is a lot cheaper option than even the Roadie 20. So what I want is to see what I can max the performance out of this in the real world. It's pretty warm here at the moment. Mid-30s. Last week we had mid-40s Celsius, that is, of course. So I'm going to fill all 3 of them up with ice. I know the performance of the 2 Yetis, it's brilliant. And if I can get somewhere close to this, effectively I've got a nice lightweight Esky for a trip to the beach, and big enough for a week away, packed with block ice, maybe not party ice, and a budget-friendly option. Because camping should be accessible for everyone, and you don't have to have the really expensive gear to go. You can buy a lot of bags of ice at $4 a bag if you've got a cheap cooler. So it'll be interesting to see how this DIY stubby holder box, whatever you want to call it, performs. Anyway guys, if you're interested, that's what we'll be doing. Hi guys, well that's 24 hours. It's been a warm day today. It's just clouded over. It's still 34 degrees air temperature. So these guys have been outside. It was 36 earlier and the sun was pumping down. The rubber tray mat was at 60 degrees Celsius. Right on cue comes a noisy car. Okay, so let's have a look in the Yeti Roadie. Now it's the smallest volume of the cooler, so it got 10 kilos of ice yesterday, and as suspected I can barely hear any melt at all. Okay, so the Tundra model number 45 is the biggest in this test at about 32 or 33 litres. It's also 10 kilos of cooler. A little bit of water in the bottom, hard to see much, but considering the temperature. Now the temperature tonight will probably hover around 28 degrees. It's going to be a warm night. So here's our DIY cooler box. So I knocked up this simple lid to keep the sun off that lid. Pretty straightforward. So that's it there. I was running the temperature gun over all of them, and this lid was the coolest. But get up here, have a look. Can't see. A tiny bit of water, very on par with the Tundra 45. Anyway, guys, it looks like we're off to a good start. The Yeti Roadie is at 33 degrees. Tundra 45 at 32.8. And the white esky lids at 26.7. And this has been out of the sun. It's about 30. So pretty warm out there. And these have certainly sucked up sun heat. That one being shaded, done a bit better. So we'll have a look in the Roadie. So in the Roadie there is some water. Also a quick dip. And there is my wet line. So don't forget this is a tall, thin cooler. So we'll have a look at the Tundra 45. Okay, the biggest cooler of the range. So that's just as I suspected today. A fair bit more melt. There it is there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a bit centimetres of water. Okay, let's have a look in our esky with our custom cooler box. And reasonable amount of water, a lot of ice. And I'll just mark this off here. So a little bit more melt than the Tundra 45, but they are a different shape. Okay guys, it's day 3, it's pretty warm again. So let's have a look in the coolers. I've taken them out the back of the ute because at the moment I'm working and I need the ute. So here's the, yesterday we had 90 ml of water. Not much difference, I'll just mark it off with a pencil. Big solid hunk of ice in it. Now that's 3 days, so that's pretty good going. I'll have a look in the Roadie. That's really good. It's also the smallest, so they all got 10 kilos of ice. So and we'll have a look in the Tundra. It's the biggest of the coolers, so it's got the least amount of ice by percentage, but it's still a strong performance in these conditions. So I'll dip that water level for a reference point. But we'll be back again tomorrow for day 4. Okay, day 4. That's the sun temperature on the ground. It's nearly 56 degrees. I've had about as enough summer as I can stand this week. So these guys are out in the sun earlier. So our modified esky's got a good chunk of ice in it. So I'm really pleased that it's done 4 full days. The Roadie 20. It's an absolute star performer, it really is. And the Tundra 45. Not as much as the modified esky. So, it seems to be the Roadie's winning. My modified esky and the Tundra's coming up last. Well, I'm actually pleased to see how well the modified esky's doing, guys. I really am. So I might check it late tonight or early tomorrow morning, because the Tundra must be getting close to running out of ice. Okay guys, sorry about the crap light, and it's only 20 past 4 in the morning. So I came out earlier, a quick squeeze. And there is the last bit of ice in the modified esky. Water's still at 2.5 degrees Celsius. Obviously, Roadie's still doing really well. And I looked in the Tundra 45, and there's no ice at all. And it's done. It's 8 degrees. Okay guys, we're about 4 hours short of 5 days. So we've learnt a lot. So the importance of protecting these lids from the sun, really important. So we're protecting it from the hot tray. Now this rubber tray mat was over 60 degrees Celsius in the sun. So last night at 4 AM, the Yeti Tundra 45 was at 8 degrees. This at the moment is at 5. So it's done. But $70 cooler, plus the work done to it, of course. Now if I made a better lid for this, I think it would be serious territory. But we've learnt that any form of protection from the sun is a super bonus. Of course, the superstar performer is the Yeti Roadie. Yeah, so it's got easily another day in it. Now none of these coolers were pre-chilled. So usually pre-chilling them with a bag of ice before you get started can add another day. So super pleased that my DIY box beat the Yeti Tundra 45 by half a day, guys. Anyway guys, if you like this type of content and it helps you out and helps you make good decisions, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you next time.